Have you ever felt the weight of someone's words pressing down on you, as if they were trying to shrink your presence, diminish your worth? Some people do this not with force, but with doubt, with subtle dismissals, quiet jabs, or the unspoken assumption that you're lesser. It can feel like a constant erosion of your confidence, a slow, invisible pressure building up. But here's the truth. No one can make you feel small unless you hand them that power. Imagine a storm raging outside. It howls, it roars, it paws at the earth. But a mountain does not bow to the wind. The mountain stands firm, unshaken and immovable. That is the strength of someone who knows their worth. They understand that others' judgments, insults, or dismissals hold no weight unless they choose to internalize them. This is the strength that the Stoics taught us. They believe that external opinions are meaningless unless we allow them to take root within us. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your power lies in your response. When you stop reacting, when you stop seeking approval from others, that's when they lose control over you. Their words no longer have the power to define you or shake your sense of self. You stop letting them dictate your worth and start defining it for yourself. You don't need to argue to prove yourself or lower yourself to their level. Instead, you stay grounded in who you are. So how do you handle those who try to undermine you? The last lesson is simple yet transformative. You stay silent and remain confident. You hold your ground, unshaken, knowing that your value is not determined by the opinions of others. Stay until the end, because this shift in mindset will change everything. Number 1, recognize their insecurity. We've all been there. Someone tries to make you feel small. It could be a sarcastic remark masked as humor, a dismissive attitude, or a subtle way of undermining your confidence. At first, your instinct might be to wonder, why would they say that? Did I do something wrong? It's natural to question yourself when someone else's words or actions feel hurtful or diminish your worth. However, here's the truth. When someone belittles you, it has far more to do with them than it does with you. People who are secure in themselves have no need to tear others down. Think about it. When someone is confident and comfortable in their own skin, they have no reason to belittle others. Their worth isn't threatened by someone else's success or achievements. It's only those who wrestle with their own insecurities and inadequacies who feel compelled to diminish others. When people attempt to make you feel smaller, their words are not a reflection of your worth. They are, in fact, a projection of their own self-doubt. Instead of confronting their own weaknesses and growing from them, these individuals attempt to mask their insecurities by making others feel lesser. It's important to recognize that the criticism, the sarcasm, and the dismissals you face are not personal attacks. They are more about them than they are about you. This is a powerful realization, one that can free you from the weight of others' negativity. A wise person, grounded in Stoic philosophy, understands not to take such bait. The Stoics taught that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In other words, the most powerful response to someone trying to undermine you is not to stoop down to their level. You don't need to engage in their negativity. The high road, the path of peace and inner strength, is to remain unaffected, grounded in your own worth. Let me tell you a story about John. John worked alongside a colleague who never missed an opportunity to belittle him. Whenever John was praised for his work, this colleague would respond with something like, "Let's see if you can keep it up." If John shared an idea, they would counter with, "That's interesting, but we need something more serious." At first, John internalized these comments. He started doubting himself and questioning his abilities. The constant undermining chipped away at his confidence, and he began to wonder if he was really as good as everyone said. But then one day, a realization struck him. He understood that his colleague wasn't belittling him because John was failing. No, they were doing it because John was succeeding. His success made them feel threatened. John's growth reminded this colleague of their own shortcomings, and in an attempt to feel better about themselves, they resorted to tearing him down. This realization was a turning point for John. He made a choice to stop reacting to his colleagues' comments. He didn't argue, didn't defend himself, didn't seek validation from them. Instead, John chose to focus on his own work, his own growth, and his own path. Slowly, something interesting happened. His colleagues' words lost their power. Because John refused to give them the reaction they craved, his colleague lost control over him. The more John stayed calm and undisturbed, the more his colleagues' attempts to diminish him fell flat. So what should you do when someone tries to make you feel small? The first thing is to recognize their words for what they truly are. Expressions of their own insecurity, not judgments of your value. When you see it through that lens, it becomes easier to dismiss their attempts to undermine you. Stay calm, unshaken, and don't let their negativity pull you in. Above all, keep rising. The strongest response to those who try to bring you down is to move forward, undisturbed by their words. Their struggles are theirs to bear, and your path is yours to walk. Stay steady, focused, and unshakable, knowing that your worth is not defined by the opinions or insecurities of others. You are enough just as you are. Keep walking forward and let your success speak for itself. Number 2, stay unshaken by their words. One of the greatest strengths you can develop in life is the ability to remain unshaken by the words of others. We've all been there. Someone makes a rude comment, criticizes you unfairly, or subtly tries to diminish you in front of others. In that moment, your instinct might be to react. You feel the surge of emotion, anger, frustration, or even self-doubt. You may want to defend yourself, argue back, or prove them wrong. But here's the truth. Their words only have power if you allow them to. When someone insults you or tries to tear you down, they are searching for something, a reaction. They want you to get upset, to doubt yourself, to feel small or inferior. Why? Because the moment you react, they win. They've successfully drawn you into their drama, and they now have control over your emotions. The moment you take their words personally, you surrender your emotional power to them. This is where your ability to stay unshaken comes in. It is the ultimate form of control. The beauty of Stoic philosophy lies in its ability to teach us how to respond to external events. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In simpler terms, it's not what they say that affects you. It's how you choose to interpret it. If you see their words as insignificant or meaningless, they lose their power to hurt you. If you treat their criticism as background noise, it becomes just that, something irrelevant, unimportant, and fleeting. Their opinion doesn't shape your reality unless you allow it to. Let me share a story about a man I know. Let's call him Daniel. Daniel worked with a colleague who constantly criticized him. No matter what Daniel did, this person had something negative to say. At first, Daniel felt frustrated. Every day he found himself replaying their words in his mind, wondering why this colleague was treating him so unfairly. He began to question himself, his abilities, and his self-worth. But then one day, Daniel had a realization. Why was he allowing this person so much control over his peace? Why was he giving this individual the power to affect his emotional state? That was the turning point for him. Instead of reacting, Daniel made a conscious decision to remain calm. When his colleague made a sarcastic remark, Daniel simply smiled and carried on with his work. When they criticized him unfairly, Daniel didn't argue or try to defend himself. He let his work speak for itself. He focused on what he could control, his own actions, his professionalism, and his peace of mind. Over time, something interesting happened. The colleague lost interest in criticizing him. Why? Because when you stop giving people the reaction they crave, they lose their ability to affect you. The more Daniel remained calm, unshaken, and composed, the less power his colleague's words had over him. Eventually, the colleague moved on to someone else, searching for another target to provoke. So, how do you handle situations like this? First, recognize that their words are just noise. They don't define you. Their words might sting for a moment, but it's important to remember that you have the power to control how you respond. Don't give them more weight than they deserve. Stay composed, stay in control, and refuse to react emotionally. The next step is to focus on what truly matters: your own path, your own growth, and most importantly, your own peace. You control your own narrative, and no one else has the power to dictate how you feel unless you allow them to. At the end of the day, you are the one who decides how much weight someone else's words carry. Let them talk. Let them try to undermine you, but never ever let them shake your foundation. True strength comes from within, and no one has the power to take that from you unless you let them. You get to decide how much influence others have on your emotions. When you remain unshaken, when you hold on to your inner peace despite external criticism, you've taken back control over your life, and that is a power no one can take from you. Number 3, respond with indifference. One of the most powerful ways to handle someone who tries to belittle you is simple indifference. Whether they mock you, criticize you unfairly, or try to make you feel small, the person is usually searching for one thing: a reaction. They want to see you flustered, defensive, or hurt, because when you react, it gives them a sense of power and control. They thrive on your discomfort. But here's the secret: nothing disarms a person like complete indifference. Indifference is your greatest weapon. When you stop caring about their opinions, their insults lose all meaning. The moment you stop giving them the power to affect you, their words are rendered meaningless. You don't have to argue. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to lower yourself to their level. Instead, you remain calm, unaffected, and completely uninterested in their attempts to bring you down. And more than anything, this frustrates them. An insecure person cannot stand being ignored. They want to see you react. When you refuse to give them that, you take away their sense of control. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes invaluable. The ancient philosopher Seneca once said, "Silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings." In other words, true strength is knowing that not every insult deserves a reply. Not every challenge needs to be met head-on. Sometimes the most powerful move is to say nothing at all. By doing so, you protect your peace, while they waste their energy. Let me share a story of someone I know. Let's call him Ryan. Ryan worked with a colleague who constantly tried to undermine him. In meetings, this person would make sarcastic comments, roll their eyes when Ryan spoke, and find ways to poke holes in everything he did. At first, Ryan was tempted to fight back, to defend himself and prove his worth. But instead, he chose a different approach. He stopped reacting. When his coworker made a rude remark, Ryan acted as if he hadn't even heard it. He kept his expression neutral, stayed focused on his work, and refused to engage. Over time, something interesting happened. The coworker became frustrated. Without a reaction to feed off, their attempts to belittle Ryan lost all power. Eventually, the coworker stopped altogether. So how do you handle people like this? First, remind yourself that their words mean nothing unless you give them weight. Their opinion does not define you. It's important to recognize that no one has the right to make you feel small unless you allow them to. Second, resist the urge to argue. When someone tries to bring you down, silence can be the most powerful response. By not engaging with negativity, you rob it of its power to affect you. Sometimes not reacting at all is the most profound statement you can make. Finally, walk away mentally. This doesn't necessarily mean physically leaving the situation, but rather disengaging from their negativity emotionally. The moment you stop caring about what they say, you free yourself entirely. You stop giving them the power to disrupt your peace, and in doing so, you reclaim control over your emotions and your mindset. At the end of the day, you don't have to fight battles that aren't worth your time. Let them talk, let them try, and let them waste their energy. Their insults are simply reflections of their insecurities. By staying indifferent, you rob them of the power they're trying to exert over you. Your indifference is your strength. You hold the key to your peace, and no one can take that away from you unless you allow them to. Indifference isn't about being cold or uncaring. It's about protecting your mental and emotional energy from those who seek to diminish you. When you can remain unaffected, unshaken, and unmoved by their words, you've taken the greatest step towards self-empowerment. Keep rising, stay focused on your path, and let their negativity fall away like water off a duck's back. Number 4, let your actions speak. Let's discuss the most powerful response to those who try to make you feel small. Proving them wrong without saying a word. We've all been there. Someone doubts you, belittles you, or undermines your confidence. Your first instinct might be to argue, to defend yourself, to explain why they're wrong. But here's the truth. Words rarely change minds, actions do. Instead of wasting energy trying to convince them of your worth, let your success speak for itself. The reality is simple. When you succeed, their words become irrelevant. People who belittle others do so because they want to plant doubt in your mind. They want to see you second-guess yourself, hesitate, or give up altogether. But the moment you stop engaging in their negativity and focus entirely on your own path, you take away their power. Every achievement, every step forward, and every quiet victory proves them wrong without you ever needing to say a thing. This is where Stoic wisdom can guide you. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." What this means is that you don't need to argue about your beliefs, your abilities, or your worth. You simply need to live them. Show your strength through your actions. Let your results be your response. Instead of debating with those who doubt you, keep moving forward. Let your success be the only statement you ever need to make. Let me share a story. There's a man I know named Jacob. Jacob was constantly underestimated. People told him he wasn't capable. They said he didn't have what it took to succeed. They dismissed his ambitions, mocked his ideas, and tried to make him feel small. At first, Jacob was tempted to fight back, to prove himself through words. But then he made a decision. He would let his results do the talking. He ignored the doubters. Instead of engaging in arguments, he worked in silence. He poured all his energy into self-improvement. He honed his skills, sharpened his focus, and dedicated himself to his goals. And over time, something remarkable happened. His success began to silence every critic. The same people who once laughed at him suddenly saw him differently. They weren't mocking him anymore. They were curious. Some were even envious of what he had accomplished. Jacob had become the living proof of the power of actions over words. He didn't need to argue with anyone. His work, his dedication, and his achievements spoke louder than any word ever could. That's the secret. When you focus on growth and take consistent action toward your goals, your progress will eventually make all the doubters fall silent. So how do you handle people who try to belittle you? First, stop explaining yourself. You don't owe anyone a justification for who you are or what you're capable of. Your worth isn't for others to decide, so why waste time defending it? Second, put all your energy into growth. Instead of engaging with people who try to tear you down, focus on self-improvement. Let them waste their time talking while you use your time to build and achieve. Lastly, trust that success speaks louder than words. The best response to those who doubt you isn't an argument or a confrontation. It's simply proving them wrong by rising higher than they ever expected. At the end of the day, you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't have to defend yourself against the naysayers. Just keep going, keep growing, and let your achievements say everything that needs to be said. Because here's the truth. The greatest revenge against those who doubt you is not in arguing, but in proving them wrong by succeeding without ever saying a word. Let your actions speak for themselves, and you'll find that your success becomes the loudest and most powerful answer to those who tried to make you feel small. Number 5, set firm boundaries. Let's talk about one of the most essential ways to protect yourself from people who try to make you feel small. Setting firm boundaries. When someone constantly undermines you, dismisses your worth, or tries to shake your confidence, you have two choices. Tolerate it and let it drain you, or walk away and protect your peace. Here's the truth. Respecting yourself means refusing to stay where you are not valued. Some people thrive on making others feel insignificant because it gives them a false sense of power. They test your limits, ignore your discomfort, and push further when they see you allow it. But here's the key. When you draw the line, when you make it clear that disrespect will not be tolerated, you take back control. Setting boundaries isn't about being aggressive or rude. It's about protecting your energy and your sense of self-worth. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes invaluable. Epictetus once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." If you keep seeking approval from those who belittle you, you're giving them control over your self-worth. If you keep tolerating toxic behavior just to avoid conflict, you're sacrificing your own peace. But when you set firm boundaries, when you decide that your well-being matters more than their opinion, you reclaim your power. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A woman I know, let's call her Emily, had a friend who constantly belittled her. Whenever Emily shared her goals or achievements, this friend would respond dismissively, "Oh, that's cute," or, I guess that's impressive for you." For a long time, Emily laughed it off, convincing herself that she was overreacting. But deep down, she knew this wasn't friendship. This was someone who enjoyed making her feel small. One day, Emily had a breakthrough. She made a decision. She stopped engaging. She stopped explaining herself. Most importantly, she distanced herself from the negativity. Just like that, the weight lifted. She no longer felt the need to prove herself to someone who was never going to respect her in the first place. Emily had set a boundary, and that boundary gave her the freedom she needed to focus on her own growth without the draining effect of constant belittling. So how do you set firm boundaries? First, recognize that you don't owe anyone access to your energy. Just because someone has been in your life for a long time doesn't mean they deserve to stay if they don't value you. The people you allow into your space should uplift you, not diminish you. Your time, your energy, and your peace are valuable, and you don't need to spend them on those who can't see your worth. Second, stop explaining yourself to people who don't respect you. A firm boundary doesn't need justification. You don't need to explain why you deserve respect or why you won't tolerate toxic behavior. Sometimes the most powerful response is simply to stand firm in your decision and refuse to let anyone cross that line. You're allowed to say, "This is not acceptable," without feeling the need to justify your feelings or actions. Finally, walk away when necessary. Distance is power. If someone refuses to respect your worth, removing them from your space is the strongest move you can make. You don't need to argue or fight with them. Simply walking away sends a clear message that their behavior will not be tolerated. Distance gives you the clarity and peace of mind you need to move forward without the constant pressure of someone's negativity. At the end of the day, you teach people how to treat you by what you allow. If someone constantly tries to make you feel small, respect yourself enough to walk away. Protect your peace, because the more you do, the more power you hold over your own life. You don't need to keep people in your life who don't respect your boundaries or value your worth. Setting and enforcing firm boundaries isn't selfish. It's a necessary act of self-respect and self-preservation. So the next time someone tries to diminish you, remember this: your peace is non-negotiable. Stand firm, walk away if you need to, and know that by doing so, you are taking control of your life and your well-being. Number 6, turn their negativity into fuel. Let's talk about one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make, using negativity as motivation. When someone belittles you, doubts you, or tries to make you feel small, you have two choices. Let it discourage you or let it drive you. Weak people allow negativity to weigh them down, while the strong take every insult, every criticism, and every ounce of doubt and use it as fuel to push forward. Here's the truth. The best way to silence doubters isn't by arguing with them, it's by succeeding. People who try to bring you down are often projecting their own insecurities. They want to see you give up because they've already given up on themselves. They want to see you fail because it makes them feel better about their own lack of effort. But when you take their negativity and turn it into motivation, you do something they never expected. You rise above them. Instead of crumbling under their words, you let them push you to work harder, get stronger, and accomplish even more than they ever thought possible. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes invaluable. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Every challenge, every insult, and every moment of doubt is an opportunity to grow. Just as lifting weights makes the body stronger, overcoming adversity makes the mind unbreakable. When others doubt you, they're unknowingly making you better. Every time they say you can't, you prove that you can. Every time they try to break your spirit, you use it to sharpen your focus. Their negativity, when harnessed correctly, becomes the driving force that propels you forward. Let me share a story about a man I know. Let's call him Leo. Leo was constantly underestimated by those around him. When he told his family he wanted to start his own business, they laughed. "You running a business? Good luck with that," they said. When he shared his ambitions with friends, they dismissed him. "Just be realistic," they told him. But instead of letting their words discourage him, Leo made a decision. He would let their negativity fuel him. Every doubt, every insult, Every dismissive remark became a reason to push harder. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, he channeled their words into motivation. He worked tirelessly, putting in the effort that no one else believed he could. And over time, Leo began to build his business from the ground up. As he gained traction and success, something remarkable happened. The same people who once doubted him were now asking for his advice. They were no longer laughing at him. They were curious about his methods. He had used their negativity as fuel, and in the process, he transformed his life and his business. So how do you turn negativity into fuel? First, stop taking it personally. Their doubts reflect them, not you. Their words are a projection of their own insecurities, and they have no bearing on your abilities or your potential. Understand that when someone tries to belittle you, it's a reflection of their limitations, not yours. Second, reframe every insult as motivation. Instead of feeling discouraged by their words, think, "Thank you for the extra energy. I'll use it to prove you wrong." This shift in perspective allows you to channel the negativity in a productive way, turning their attempts to break you into fuel for your success. And finally, focus on results, not revenge. Don't waste time trying to convince people to believe in you. You don't need their approval. Let your achievements do the talking. Every milestone you reach, every success you achieve, will speak louder than any criticism they can offer. At the end of the day, negativity only has the power you give it. When someone tries to bring you down, don't sink to their level. Instead, use their words to climb even higher. Let their doubt be the fire that drives you, and watch how unstoppable you become. When you embrace this mindset, nothing, no criticism, no insult, no doubt, can stop you from achieving your goals. You'll not only prove them wrong, but you'll prove to yourself that you are capable of far more than they could ever imagine. Number 7, surround yourself with those who uplift you. Let's talk about one of the most important decisions you will ever make: who you allow in your circle. The people around you either lift you up or drag you down. They either push you toward growth or hold you back with doubt and negativity. And here's the simple truth: the right people will recognize your value without needing to make you feel small. If someone constantly belittles you, undermines your confidence, or drains your energy, it's not your job to convince them of your worth. It's your job to walk away and find better company. Your environment shapes you. The people you surround yourself with have an immense influence on your mindset, your actions, and ultimately, your success. If you spend your time with individuals who inspire, challenge, and encourage you, you naturally grow. You'll begin to see new possibilities, push past your limitations, and achieve things you didn't think possible. But if you stay around those who make you doubt yourself, their negativity will slowly seep in, eroding your confidence, diminishing your self-belief, and stifling your potential. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes invaluable. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." In other words, choose your circle wisely. The people in your life should not make you question your worth. They should remind you of it. They should reflect back to you the person you are capable of becoming. And if they don't, it's time to make a change. You're not obligated to stay in relationships that hold you back. You are not here to convince anyone of your value. Your value should be recognized and respected without effort. Let me share a story of a woman I know. Let's call her Olivia. Olivia spent years surrounding herself with the wrong people. Whenever she shared her ambitions with her friends, the response was always one of skepticism. "Are you sure you can handle that?" they would ask. "Maybe you should just play it safe." It wasn't outright discouragement, but it was enough to plant seeds of doubt in her mind. And for years, Olivia hesitated to take bold action, to chase her dreams. She began to question herself, unsure if she was capable of achieving what she truly desired. Then one day, Olivia made a decision. She was going to change her circle. She started spending time with people who believed in her, people who challenged her to aim higher, people who saw her potential and encouraged her to step into it. And the difference it made was life-changing. As soon as she surrounded herself with those who uplifted her, Olivia began to take bold steps forward. She made decisions that moved her toward her goals, embraced challenges, and allowed herself to grow in ways she never thought possible. She realized that when you are surrounded by those who believe in you, you start to believe in yourself on a deeper level. So how do you surround yourself with the right people? First, pay attention to how they make you feel. Do they lift you up or hold you back? Do they inspire you or drain you? The right people should leave you feeling energized, motivated, and empowered. If you constantly feel drained or discouraged around certain individuals, it's time to reconsider that relationship. Second, let go of toxic relationships. People who constantly make you feel small, insecure, or unworthy don't deserve access to your energy. These are the relationships you must distance yourself from, even if they've been part of your life for a long time. Holding on to toxic people out of guilt, obligation, or habit only prevents you from stepping into your true potential. It's okay to walk away and make space for those who genuinely respect you. Finally, seek out those who inspire you. Find people who challenge you to be better, people who encourage your growth, and people who genuinely want to see you succeed. These are the people who will help you reach new heights, support you during setbacks, and celebrate your victories alongside you. A supportive and uplifting circle is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself on your journey to success. At the end of the day, you are a reflection of the company you keep. If you want to rise higher, surround yourself with those who encourage you to do the same. The right circle won't just support you, they'll make you unstoppable. By choosing your circle wisely, you choose a path of growth, empowerment, and success. Your environment is everything, and when you fill it with those who see your worth, you'll begin to see it more clearly in yourself. Number 8, remember your own worth. Let's talk about one of the most powerful truths you need to internalize. No one can make you feel small unless you allow them to. How people treat you is a reflection of them, but how you respond is a reflection of you. If someone tries to belittle you, their words only carry weight if you give them permission. Their opinion doesn't have to dictate how you see yourself unless you allow it to. This is the key to maintaining your sense of worth and inner peace. Understanding that your value is not determined by others, but by you. Here's the reality. If someone calls you unworthy, does that make it true? Number. If they doubt your abilities, does that erase your skills and potential? Absolutely not. Their opinions have no power unless you choose to believe them. When you truly understand your worth, external judgments become nothing more than background noise. This is where self-respect comes in. When you truly know your worth and embrace it, the opinions of others lose their grip on you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." Your value is not defined by what others think of you. It's shaped by what you strive for and your dedication to your own growth and progress. Your worth comes from your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself, regardless of others' opinions. When you are focused on self-improvement and growth, no criticism or negative comment can take that away from you. Your worth is something that only you can define, and it's grounded in your personal journey. Let me share a story to help illustrate this concept. A man I know, let's call him Ethan, worked in an environment where he was constantly underestimated. Despite working hard and giving his best every day, there was always someone ready to criticize him. At first, these comments stung, and they made him question his abilities. But then, Ethan had a breakthrough moment. He asked himself, why am I giving these people so much control over my confidence? That was the moment everything changed. Ethan realized that by seeking validation from others, he was allowing them to shape his self-worth. From that point forward, Ethan stopped seeking validation from others and focused entirely on his own path. He stopped looking for approval and instead began trusting himself and his abilities. The moment he let go of needing others' approval was the moment he became unstoppable. His confidence grew because he wasn't waiting for others to confirm his value. Instead, he showed up for himself every day, and that made all the difference. So, how do you remember your worth and internalize it in your daily life? First, remind yourself that no one else defines you. People may have opinions about you, but their opinions are theirs to carry, not yours. Don't let their perceptions shape how you see yourself. Second, build confidence through action. The more you show up for yourself and take steps toward your goals, the more your self-worth grows. Confidence isn't just a feeling, it's a practice. Every time you push through doubt, continue striving forward, and take action despite fear, you reinforce your belief in your own value. Third, never shrink yourself for anyone. If someone tries to make you feel small, It's often because they see something in you that intimidates them. Stand tall and don't let their insecurity dictate how you view yourself. At the end of the day, your worth is not up for debate. It's something you decide for yourself. No one can take it from you unless you hand them that power. The moment you stop seeking approval, stop letting their words take root in your mind, and start carrying yourself with the quiet strength of someone who knows exactly what they bring to the world, you will find peace and resilience. People who try to belittle you are often revealing more about themselves than about you. Their words come from their own insecurities and limitations, not from the truth of who you are. Their opinions do not shape your reality, you do. The strongest response to negativity isn't to fight back or to lower yourself to their level. It's to rise so high that their words no longer have any effect on you. So keep moving forward. Keep proving yourself, not to them, but to yourself. Every step you take toward becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient makes their doubts irrelevant. Remember, true confidence isn't loud. It's unshakable. Keep rising, keep growing, and never let anyone make you feel small again. The journey to self-respect and confidence begins within. Don't wait for others to affirm your worth. Embrace it yourself and watch how your life transforms. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to comment "Thank God" below. And if you found value in this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps bring more powerful insights your way. True confidence comes from knowing yourself and standing firm in your worth. More wisdom is coming soon. Stay tuned.